welcome to an episode 111 with the Struggling Hunters. It's the same forward as it is backwards. Kind of a special hallmark there, I guess you can say.
There you go. There you go.
But thanks for tuning in.
Can't mess up 111, huh?
No, you can't. It's a big moment for us, guys. We appreciate you being here with us. But yeah, we're chugging along, and thanks for watching. We appreciate your time. Watching the last one, we realized how dead we looked, and we apologize that we looked pretty tired, haggard. Hopefully that adds a little bit to the ambiance of what we try to do here.
Yeah, right.
But anyways, I'll introduce ourselves. We got Eric over here.
Hey, guys.
And I'm Joe. And
hey, Joe.
Hi. Thanks for tuning in. I think I said that a handful of times, but I keep stumbling over that. But thanks again. And but today I kind of got a little bit of dialogue to kind of discuss today, plans that are going to be happening, or like our hunting plans. Actually, seems like we're a couple months out from the archery elk, and things are finally starting to get solidified as to what exactly we're going to be doing this. Do you call it? You can't call it this fall because this summer. I guess it's more of a summer hunt, the archery season.
Kinda. I mean, yeah, it kind of is really.
I mean, you grow up, you're like, oh, this fall we're going to go hunting, and I guess it's the beginning of the fall, but yet you're still kind of.
It doesn't feel like fall during that month. So
no, you're still in the summertime.
For the most part.
So I guess it's summer hunting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess kind of kicked that off. For those of you that just tuning in for the first time, a little background. I just moved from Utah to Colorado. So I'm in this funky time zone, way that time zone as in residency goes, that I'll be living. That's what I got to go out. So I'll let the cat out of the bag and say that I'm going to hunt archery elk in Colorado. And I do have an archery deer tag, I guess, but if I turn that back in, don't claim a residency tag in Utah, I'll be living in Colorado long enough to claim residency in Utah by the time the archery elk hunt starts.
Colorado?
Oh, yeah, Colorado. Thank you. I knew I was going to get things confused. But that's the before I finally make my final decision, I got to take my paperwork in to Fish and Game and say, look, this is what I have. Is this going to be legit enough to say that I can claim residency for this summer, for the summer's hunt? If that makes any sense.
So you just want to double check and make sure, which is really smart because it sucked to get to I think somewhere in August, like August
2nd or 3rd or something?
I think it's 3rd. Yeah, August 3rd they released the over-the-counter tags for elk. So yeah, it would suck to wait till then and find out you can't. So
yeah, then I already turned in my deer tag.
Yeah,
and then I could still get an over-the-counter archery tag for Utah, but yeah. So I just want to make sure that I can do that.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, I mean, it's like I said, the decision is made to hunt Colorado as long as I can claim residency, which I know it sounds kind of fishy, but I hope I don't get in trouble. But as far as the research I've been doing is because I'm in that weird gray zone that I should still be able to do it and not get in trouble.
To hunt Colorado. I mean, I don't think it's like fishy or any. I mean, you're just using the laws to work in your favor. Plus, I mean, you'll be here for 6 months by then, and
right.
And I mean, and you also skipped turkey season this year for that reason, just in case you did want to hunt Colorado.
Skipped Utah's turkey season just for that reason, yes.
Because you weren't legal to do Colorado turkey season, also, right? Like so.
Right. Correct.
So
I could have out of stater.
Oh, gotcha.
Could have done that way, but I didn't want to spend the extra money.
Yeah, there's no reason
For
to
right
do
now.
that. And then I wonder if they would do that if you bought out of state license and everything with the cost of that, and then you were like, all right, well now I'm a resident. If they didn't go well, now you got to buy the resident license.
Right.
That'd be kind of a little bit of a double whammy there, you know.
Yeah.
They probably would make you buy both though. I'm excited
Yeah.
to, you know, be able to come up with plans with you and hunt with you and yeah, I think it'll be great. And then you also were talking about maybe, I guess we haven't figured out the details on this, but we were talking about getting some bear tags.
Right.
And trying our luck at that. I've never really done too much bear. I went with people, and they were the star of the show, you know. So I just kind of followed them around, like. So I went with people bear hunting, but I never pursued a bear on my own. But the area that I have hunted over the years, I've seen a ton of bear up there. So kind of thinking that get a bear tag myself, and then you were thinking about it too.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. I think we'll have a lot of fun getting chasing bear in the middle of chasing elk and everything else. Is there any more that you have to say?
No, not as far as that.
As far as your
the tag decision goes, I think I've
okay.
rounded that out.
Well, I'm pretty excited. I actually drew for antler deer this year in third season, which will roughly it should be kind of right in the middle or right the deer rut. So I'm pretty excited about that. Hunt the rut this year, third season. I was kind of surprised that I got it. But hey, if they want to give it to me, I'll take it. So I'm pretty excited about that. So yeah, we got a lot of hunting coming up this year, and we were already cussing and discussing earlier of trying to get more on film, kind of having a plan behind it. One thing with Joe and I trying to get on top of hunting by itself and do that, and then adding like a film situation on top of it. It's been a little more tricky than what meets the eye. I mean, it's more than just turning on the camera and
well, it's like going. That extra step, kind of for me, I guess. As I'm sitting there, we're discussing it, just pops in my head, or I think my way of looking at it is what I struggle with is like, you know, say at work when like you're going along, you have your routine down, and then the boss says, "Hey, by the way, you got to throw this into your job today. You got to make sure this gets done." And then you're like, "Oh man, I don't want to do that." You know, like that. I mean, for one thing, being on film and hunting, walking around in the woods is, you know, totally different. So I don't want to film walking around in the woods, but and you got to remember to pull the camera out and like, do I pull it out now? Do I, you know? But the only way to get footage is to pull it out and use it.
Right, and that's I mean, there's some other workings with that because we're talking about that very thing. Like some of our cameras that we do have, we try to play the battery game, and you know, so we have some updating to do, or we're hoping that we can or will. So that's kind of a factor too, because I was explaining to Joe earlier that sometimes, like not having a GoPro, for example, you know, the battery life in some of our other cameras just don't last as long. So it's like we're trying to capture a moment, so we're rushing around trying to hit record and turn it on or whatever to conserve the battery, where if we had a GoPro, we'd be able to just kind of, for the most part, I mean, there's some situations, but for the most part, we could hit play and not have to worry about it for quite some time. I mean, I think like 5 or 6 hours. So I think the headache would be just going back through the footage,
rewatching it,
and cutting out hours of
our awesomeness.
Yeah, but
what not to put in.
Trying to decide what awesomeness not to put in exactly. So anyways, I mean, it's kind of back end detail stuff, but I guess the reason that we're bringing it up is because we wanted to bring up that we want to just give more to the channel and do more than just these podcasts, and we're really excited about it, but we're just trying to work out the details and try to really understand it. It'd be easier if we had a film crew, but not yet. Hopefully in the future, but not yet. What's that one channel with Solo Hunter? Is that what it is?
Solo Hunter?
Is that what the channel is?
Where he hunts by himself?
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking though. I'm like, well, he figured it out, so we can probably figure it out too. Right. But anyways, yeah. So we're just trying to figure it out, and I think Joe and I's problem sometimes is we kind of want to be perfectionists about it a little bit, maybe. So we kind of tend to overthink it, and then so. We're going to try to give you more entertainment and do more stuff in the woods and maybe do some, like, I guess, make it vlog style. Because that's the other thing, too, is, like, this turkey season, I'm like, man, I want to film, but if we don't get nothing, then what am I doing? Filming us taking the gun for a walk? Like, But I guess, like, the banter, conversation and stuff could be filmed. And
right.
I don't think we were planning on talking about filming.
No, we weren't planning on. So we're going pretty deep in this subject of filming when we started off talking about your third season rifle gear.
Yeah. Well, I'm just excited because I'd love to seal the deal and get it on film and do the whole experience. So, but yeah, going back to drawing that, I mean, I'm pretty excited about it. I feel kind of fortunate actually to draw that because there's a lot of so I've drawn twice and I've only put in twice, so I feel pretty fortunate because I know of people that have put in and not drawn out for a tag. So I'm like, man, I'm kind of feeling lucky. So hopefully it all goes good. I get successful again this year, and this time I'll just have a little bit of something to hold. I'll tell you, honestly, I've already kind of played it in my head, and I'm like, I want to play going after a mature buck, blah 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 game, but I'm like, a part of me is like, man. If I see
little forky walks past.
Well, yeah. Well, I think Colorado has a rule against that,
right.
but I can't. I haven't.
Well, I need to look.
I haven't had to look for quite some time, so I don't remember what the minimum points are, but so I have to at least abide by that. But yeah, I'm like, man. I mean, if it's anything somewhat decent, I'll go for it. So that's kind of my goal.
That's a good goal.
Yeah, I mean, I feel a little bad, but you know what? Let me get this one out of the way, and then I'll start, making sure they're a little more mature and older. Hopefully I get lucky and I do get, I am successful with a mature buck, but regardless, either way, I'm just excited that I got it, and I've debated. I think I'm going to stick with the rifle. Mm-hmm. I just got this. Well, yesterday I knew I drew something, but I didn't get the email till today. With that said, though, I've already been thinking about it quite a bit, and I was like, you know what? I would love to take the bow out and use the bow, but I'm like, I would hate to see something that's 200 yards out, but I can't really close the distance for whatever reason, and I'm trying,
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is you could still use your gun, but hunt like you have the bow.
Just like have have both of them at the same time.
No, just meaning like you're not gonna shoot anything unless you're 50 yards or under.
Oh, no, I ain't gonna play that game. No, I'm just gonna use the rifle. Plus, I want to be clear here because I know I've said in the past like how much I love archery hunting, but I love rifle.
Well, it's kind of
too,
funny.
so.
Like we just talked last week about trying to, hunting so many handful of years. His last couple of years is just strictly archery and like not having a rifle hunt, and then boom,
yeah,
you got a rifle.
Then I get a rifle. Well, technically I did last year though too. So.
Oh, that's right.
But,
that's right.
Yeah, I like. I mean, I grew up rifle hunting, so as far as which one I like, or I like them both. I know that since I got into archery, I've definitely fallen in love with that, and I feel like I definitely like archery hunting a lot more, but I think it's good to still
diversify your hunting abilities.
Yeah, be diversified. I like that.
Eric's dignified. He's diversified.
Yeah, I'm diversified hunter.
The struggling diversified hunter over here.
Yeah. Struggling's probably the biggest part of that equation.
He's going places.
I'm going places though, but yeah, I mean, I feel like that's kind of all I have on drawn, but I am excited about it and ready to see what we can do. I guess since we started talking about it though, you know, I guess we're 3 months out. I think earlier I said 2 months, but
yeah.
we're 3 months out. And one thing that we both got to really do is start getting that middle or that pre-prep ready for the hunting season coming up. I get it's kind of more of a pre-prep.
Yeah.
That final pre-prep.
Pre-prep.
Yeah, that's the word that we were looking for earlier before we started recording. So, anyway, doing the pre-prep, and one of them is getting our bows dialed in. I'm gonna make a video here soon of us shooting bows, and I did horrible, but I mean I will blame myself a little bit because it was a new bow and I wasn't quite used to it. But I also think that there's some adjustments that I need to make on the bow. So with that and everything, like we got a lot of stuff to do from here till then.
Yeah.
To get our bows prepped up, ready to go, get the reps in, and then our packs also get those ready. Make sure we have everything in those
prepped and ready. Like it's kind of been, you know, it's kind of fun in a way to keep the pack kind of ready year round. As far as, you know, like in Utah, that's the one thing that like kind of catches me about not wanting to turn my tag in is being able to hunt like late season archery. So if I don't get anything, I can go hunt the winter, not winter range, but the late season archery, and I could go back to Utah and go visit family, and then like all right, I'm going hunting, and
right.
Be gone. But you know, that's kind of that probably wouldn't work out. I'd get over there maybe once is all. So I guess I'd be driven to get something. And now that I have that one season behind me, and I almost had success last year, and a little better understanding of what I need to do, I'd probably be able to do it this year. But anyways, that's neither here nor there anymore.
Yeah, you're almost going back again. You're almost going back to be like, oh, I'll just hunt Utah.
But I was getting at the fact that, you know, talking about getting packs ready. Like sad to say, I don't know if it's sad or what, but like my pack's still packed for the late season elk hunt last year. How did I have a deer tag? Man, I had a deer tag 2 years ago, didn't I?
Yeah.
I did. Sorry, man, my brain is just like skipping, been so busy lately. I'm like going down these rabbit holes trying to think things out in my head. But anyway, so elk season last year, so getting my pack ready for this year, it's almost so I don't know if we want to go. I found my knife that I was looking for during the move. One of the good things that happened is I found this old K-bar 2-blade pocket knife or folding knife that I've been trying to find the last like 2 years.
Oh, really?
To put in my pack because, you know, for getting ready for the archery season, because archery is, like we were saying, is kind of midsummer, end of summer hunt. It's still hot out, so you want to get your game processed as soon as possible. So I started carrying 2 or 3 knives in my pack to, you know, so that way when one gets dull, I don't have to take time to, I mean, I guess it's only a couple minutes to sharpen, so it's not like you're going to, anyways, but I started carrying
But in your head, you had it figured out where you're like, I'll just switch knives.
Yeah, correct, and just keep going.
Yeah.
Well, there's this one K-bar pocket, or folding knife, it has like a 5-inch blade on it, so it's like a bigger knife, but it's a K-bar, and it has 2 blades on it, and I was like, well, I'll just carry that one with 2 blades, and I have I have one knife that I have dubbed my hunting knife for like the last, no, I guess probably 9 years now. So it's like, that one's always going to be in my pack to hunt. Like that's my hunting knife. Now looks like this K-bar is going to roll over to be one of the part of the hunting knives. And so now, like I'll have 3 blades I can just then zip through and sharpen, and then I just throw it aside and keep going, and instead of having to stop halfway and sharpen a knife.
Speaking of that javelina razor knife that I have, I really like that thing. It works really good. I would say the only knock that I can tell is it seems as if it doesn't last. The edge doesn't last that long.
Huh.
Or not as long as I was hoping for, I should say.
Gotcha.
Like it did all right, but after a while you're like, it's not slicing quite as good as it was, like a fresh one was. And so I remember I changed that. I mean, I didn't do it that much, but I changed it out a few times. That was more kind of the processing. I was like, I'll try that out and cut up my meat with
Gotcha.
So anyway, but I really like it though.
For going down this rabbit hole of how we're talking about scouting to pack prep, and man, thanks for coming along with us.
Yeah, well, this is kind of us in hunting camp. Really, I mean,
it is.
Just going off, and
we lose track of the idea, and each next idea is just as great and bigger than the one we just had.
Exactly, but. Anyway, I really like that javelina. It does really well. Like I said, it does seem to like lose its edge a little faster than what I wanted it to, I guess. I was kind of hoping that it would keep its edge longer, but that's why they have replacement blades to buy, right?
Right, exactly.
Make that money. There was something else that you were talking about. Oh, I was actually going to ask you a question. Is there anything this year that you're wanting to get for hunting this year, as far as like some new gear or product?
For me, it'd probably be a new bugle tube.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I got one of those an old Primo's one that has like a little diaphragm thing in it that it's not like the diaphragm you put in your mouth, but a little reed thing, and that's just right now. That's all I can think of is getting a new bugle tube.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, that new tube would be fun. Yeah, that's kind of way old school, huh? You've had that for a while then.
Yeah, well, I bought it at like Dick's Sporting Goods. I used to go to Dick's Sporting Goods to buy hunting videos.
Oh, okay.
Back before YouTube was big on hunting videos, and they would, if I'd go, I'd go in the Dick's and look around, and they'd always have like these hunting videos for $2 or $5, and so I'd buy 3 or 4 of them, and I got to where I got picky. I bought a lot of them over the years, and so anyways, I was in there going through their discontinued or discounted hunting videos, DVDs, and the Primos had their tube, and it was like on sale for, I think it was like $15 or $20 or something. And,
oh wow!
And so. And I wasn't elk hunting at the time, but I was like, hey, babe, do you mind if I buy this? So it was cheap enough that I was like, yeah, sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
So that was before I got into elk hunting. So I've held on to that. Shoot. I've been elk hunting now for 5 years I shouldn't say that out loud, with rifle and archery. And I had that before I started elk hunting. So I've had it for 7 to 9 years, somewhere in there.
They have some fancy elk tubes now. I mean, like they have some with like aluminum
baffles or something.
Baffles, and yeah. Actually, I got a little story about that. I'm gonna have to make it a quick one, but when I think I was bugling an elk in this last year, but then I heard this other one off to the left of me, and I don't know if I ever told the story on the podcast, but. I was bugling, then there was one that was like straight in front of me, and I'm pretty sure that was an elk. But then I heard one off to the left of me, and I'm like, man, that one off to the pitch was just a little different. And I'm pretty sure I didn't ask the guy, but like
ask the guy.
So Yeah, let me explain. So I'm pretty sure it was a real elk in front of me that I was bugling with, but then I started hearing one off to the left of me. So I'm thinking, I'm like, man, I'm in elk heaven right now. It's right before dark. So I'm thinking, man, I'm in elk heaven. And so I'm bugling away, and I'm like, man, which one's... And then I hear the one off to the left of me getting closer and closer and closer, and I'm like, I'm getting all excited. Got my bow ready, everything. Keeps getting closer, and then spot a dude. And he was like, I knew it was a person or whatever, or that's what he told me. And I was like, oh, okay, well, bummer. I was hoping maybe I tricked him a little bit.
Yeah.
But he thought that I was one of his friends, one of his hunting partners. So he's like, oh, I thought you were one of my hunting partners or whatever. Anyway, so then I completely forgot about the one that was in front of me, and I'm like, oh, it was just, I bugled in a human or whatever. And so I started walking away and kind of kicking dirt, and I'm like, wait, what about the one that was bugling right in front of me? Anyway, it's kind of a whole thing, but I recognized, I'm pretty sure that guy had that aluminum baffle in the tube, because it just, the pitch was, you could tell the pitch was different. So, yeah, I don't know what that story really meant, but it was kind of, yeah, I could just hear that aluminum baffle, and but anyways, yeah, they're getting pretty advanced with their tubes and stuff now, but I don't know if I don't need to update that, but one thing that I probably will or want to update this year, and I don't know if I will, is a rangefinder. But I'm kind of debating right now. Oh, and I want to update my arrows too. I'm gonna have to get a new batch of those. But I'm kind of debating even spending the money on a rangefinder right now, because most of the time I'm gonna be hunting with you, and you have one. So
right.
I'm like, do I need one right away, or
Right.
Plus, like last year, everything happened so quick. I actually had a rangefinder with me, but everything happened so quick in my little moment of I didn't have time to range find.
Last year he had an elk run right in front of him, so that's what he's referring to.
Thanks for rubbing it in,
You're
Joe.
welcome.
I know what you're doing.
I just wanted to, those of you that haven't been listening to the podcast over the last year, or the last, I just wanted you guys to know the background of what he was referring to there.
Yeah, so as Joe said, I missed the bull, and
don't worry, he got the twig.
I got the twig. I did know that, but
he did hit something. He missed the elk, but hit something.
Yeah, I did. I hit the ground. I did miss my bull last year, and this year I'm not gonna let that happen again. That's played in my head pretty much every day. I will say the last few months I've been rounding the corner to where I'm like, okay, I'm kind of, or I'm not over it, but I don't think about it every day. There for 4 or 5 months, I replayed it almost literally every day of how and why I messed up so bad. Because there was no excuse. That elk was less than 20 yards. I don't know how far away it was, but the only thing is just things happen quick. I've told this story before, but all these cows just started dispersing right in front of me, and the archery and over-the-counter archery in Colorado, it's actually cow or bull, and so I was like, oh, I'll take a shot at a cow, and so I was getting ready to make my move on a cow, and then about that time, out of the corner of my eye, I saw a legal bull. I don't know exactly how big he was. Everything happened so fast, and he kind of followed the path of the cows, and I pulled back, and right whenever I was to release, one mistake that I had is I think I was trying to lead him a little too well. Obviously, I was trying to lead him a little too much. Right whenever I pretty much released, he stopped, and then that arrow just went right in front of his chest. I think I even trimmed some hair off of him. It was that close. But I replay that a lot, and I'm like, if he wouldn't have stopped, I might have actually had a bad shot anyway and hit his leg. So because of that, I'm kind of grateful that I completely missed rather than hit his leg, because that would have been a nightmare.
Yeah.
Trying to track him and everything else. And so I'm kind of grateful that I missed completely, but it still hurts because, I mean, even though it was so fast, one thing I replay in my head is I'm like, all I had to do is just take an extra breath, move back to target, and release then, or just one extra second, one extra breath, and I could have got my bull. And so anyway, I replayed that for like 5 months straight every day. Like, oh man, I can't believe I missed. So finally kind of getting over that and stuff. But then Joe reminds me and brings it all back.
Thanks for listening to Eric's sob story.
I know, right? Yeah, I know. We should put like a little music in there, like woo, little sad music during that whole little rant that I just had. But anyway, yeah. So with that, is there anything else that you can think of that you might want to update or?
I think I'm going to update the way I'm thinking as we're sitting here talking, especially the time of season, the season that the elk are in. Last year I did a little bit, but this year I'm trying to, just as we're sitting here talking, and I want to kind of share it because maybe it'll shed some light on other people. But a couple of people, hunters have been mentioning it, but finally hitting gray matter. But I think I want to focus more on hunting the cows versus hunting the elk. Meaning, if you hunt where the cows are, if we're hunting during the rut, the bulls should be right there with them. And it's because I say that because the bulls are chasing the cows. It's not the cows chasing the bulls. The bulls get so worked up, they're focused on where the cows are. Yeah, the bulls push them, but more or less it's the cows that are going to be dictating where the bulls are.
I see what you're saying, and that kind of makes sense. A lot of sense.
So, you got to kind of do both, but, more on the other side of it, think trying to get that in your head, like cows are going to want to feed where they're going to want to feed. They're going to water where they're going to want to water and all that. So, the bull is got a couple things on his mind, one more than others, and is going to be where the cows are. So that's probably not the main secret to success, but that's one of the things I'm wanting to change is the way my mind is working on looking for elk.
That makes sense. One thing I'm going to focus on this year, I think, is not being afraid of calling.
Yeah.
As much. I was real hesitant. Well, I guess there's a caveat to that because they say that kind of in the beginning of that September hunt, they're not really calling that much anyway. But you always hear, everybody kind of agrees to that statement, but then you hear about people like, oh, I was calling and getting calls back and, it was the opening day or whatever. So, I don't know. I mean, you just never know, but
I think it kind of goes back to elk do what they're going to do in their specific area. Not every area of elk habitat's the same all over the country.
Right. So, and that's 100% true. And the one thing, my one takeaway to last year to this year, the second to last day when I called you and I'm like, man, this is what I'm doing. I think I told you about calling in that guy or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I'm like, this is what I'm doing. And tomorrow's the last day. I don't know what to do. And you were like, just be aggressive with your calls tomorrow. Like it's your last day. What do you got to lose? And then I got into that activity. So because I had that success, it makes me want to rinse and repeat.
Right.
So that's something that I'm gonna try to do a little more of this coming year is work on my calling, and like early in the season I'll just probably do more cow calls and stuff, but than elk bugles, but definitely try doing both.
Right.
And just be a little more aggressive with that. And then I feel like that's kind of it for any new like gear updating or what well, I mean, it's always a learning process. Like what I'm going to actually do out there. I mean, it could change from now till then too.
Right, true.
But I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to get this elk hunt. I'm excited that, I mean, for the most part, I think we'll be together most of the time this year.
Right, yeah.
So I'm just excited for the whole adventure and see where it brings us, and hopefully we can film it and do the whole thing that way and
true,
get in a little success. We'll just all be for the first time though. The one thing that worked out the way it used to be when you lived in Utah was when you'd come over here. It was no brainer. I was gonna take the shot whenever I was in Utah.
Right.
It was, now might start fighting in the middle of the woods, but it's my shot. No, it's my shot. So,
right.
So yeah, I don't know. I guess just whoever spots it gets it if they can get the shot off.
Right.
If the spotter says I don't have a good shot, go ahead. Then we'll do it that way. But if you spot it, you get it. If I spot it, I get it.
We'll see.
We'll see.
If I can snake one in there. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No, we'll do something fair.
Yeah. Make it fair. But no, it'll be fun either way, and it'll also, we'll be able to utilize. Another thing we'll be able to do is utilize, like if we split up and you work a ridge down, I work it up, or meet in the middle somewhere and see what we get, see if we can push something toward each other, and so we'll be able to do that because we kind of talked about doing that in the past with each other when we were hunting with each other, but then we were like, well, what good's I gonna do if I go one way and Joe goes the other and I'm the one hunting and I push something past Joe, then all he can do is just watch it go by. I mean, like, can't take a shot or nothing. So
right.
So it's but this year we'll be able to actually utilize that plan and hopefully make it work toward our benefit. So do a little elk drive. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, we'll call it an elk drive.
We'll call it an elk drive. But there any closing thoughts that you have?
No, that's it. I've covered what I have in my noggin for the moment.
Well, guys, I guess that'll do it then. Joe doesn't have anything left in his noggin. So
call it.
He's calling it.
Big Show says we're done.
Oh yeah, Joe the Big Show. I haven't called you that in a while. Joe the Big Show says he's done, so we're gonna go ahead and get on out of here. Thanks, guys, for joining us in the Hunt Shack. If you're still listening at this point, do us a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Leave a review on the podcast platform that you happen to be listening on. If you can leave a review, leave a comment on the YouTube side. Leave a like, subscribe, help support. Means the world to us. Helps our algorithm out a little bit. Helps us get a little more attention. And for everybody that watched that last video of ours, we appreciate it. It kind of seemed like it got a little more attention than we have been getting for a while. Don't know if it's because we put the keyword elk in there or not, but seems like we got a little more views than usual. So appreciate that. Thanks, guys, for the support. With that, the Struggling Hunters are out of here.
See you guys.